Let's think now about how gerontology became of age. So we often cite that life expectancy in 1900 was just 47 years, and 100 years later it increased 30 years more to about 77.6. So that looks like a dramatic change, and of course it's a dramatic change. It's 30 years longer, but that average is affected greatly by child mortality and infant mortality. So the death of many infants and children in the early 1900s is what lowered the average life expectancy. And what we saw later in the century was very rare deaths among children, and thus average life expectancy increased dramatically. So a better way perhaps to look at the increase in life expectancy among the elderly is to focus just at life expectancy at age 65. So how much longer people will live from age 65. So between 1900 and 1960, the first 60 years of the last century, life expectancy for those 65 and older increased 2.4 years. So only 2.4 years, not as dramatic as the 30 years that we saw. And the second half of the century, from 1960 on, life expectancy increased by another 3.7 years. So altogether, that means life expectancy increased just over 6 years in the last century for those aged 65 and older. Still a sizable increase, but not as dramatic as what we often see when we look at life expectancy at birth. A major reason for that increase in life expectancy at age 65, of course, is better nutrition and better medical care. Medicare, established in the mid-1960s, that contributed a lot to improved life expectancy for the elderly, and a lot of drug treatments and medical care is helping for many seniors, although it's doubtful exactly how much at the population level tertiary medical care has actually impacted life expectancy. Likely only a year or so at most. We'll get into next week about whether these additional years of life are actually healthier years or just we're extending sick life, life with disease, life with disability. Of course, we want increases in life expectancy to be healthy years. We want longer, healthier life. And this gets into the concept of health span. So the studies have some conflicting evidence now about whether our additional years of life expectancy are healthy or disabled in some way. Now that's the concept of life expectancy. If we look at the concept of lifespan, which is the longest time an individual will survive, we see different numbers. So the longest lifespan that we can document is Jeanne Calment of France. She lived from 1875 to 1997, so she survived 122 years and 164 days. And if we look at the chart in the PowerPoint that shows the plot of the oldest people in the world by their age, you see that Jeanne Calment is by far and away the oldest person. No one even comes close. There's one Japanese man by the name of Izumi. There's some doubt in the quality of his records. So it's just incredible how far and a wide way she is from the rest of the crowd. Right now, it looks like only about 1 in 500 people in the U.S. survive to age 100. So even just surviving to age 100 is a miracle. But to survive to 122, that's truly exceptional.